Johnny, go to the right. Turn yourself. On me. Go. Stay in cover. Hit. Move it clear. Right. Lock. Clear. Contact.
Mercy then! Mercy! Ow! I hate playing with you guys! Hit!
Mercy? Huh. Somebody's duck hunting, eh? Hey, don't worry, I'm not gonna shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt if I... Ah!
What'd I miss, boys? Lloyd!
Alrighty. Okay. Hopefully my mic will be alright. Anyways, but yeah, so that was Airsoft. So like I said, it's really, really fast paced. It's really intense. It's really in your face and aggressive. And the score is on that level as well. Just really sort of really trying to support what's on screen. And, you know, there's constant action, so the music is constantly going. It's pretty much wall-to-wall score. And probably the hardest thing about this project in specific was the fact that, you know, the director's awesome, but with a director being awesome, they're constantly going to want perfection. So they're constantly screwing the hell around with the edit, and then they're sending it back to you. Now you have to change things. They're sending it back to you again. Now you're changing more things, and you're flipping things around, and it's absolute madness. But anyways, it's definitely a good learning experience because I've never had a project where the director just kept sending me stuff back, and then I kept on having to like re-edit it. It's a little bit different from, let's say, if you have like a film edit that you can just sort of swap things around. But when you have a film score like this, you know, where there's tons of sounds and MIDI regions, the cool thing about this is the fact that since there's a lot of synths and stuff, things are a lot more... things are organized a lot better than if you were to have like a big orchestral piece, because instruments are going to have legato and it's going to be this really, really precise thing. But with this, you can just sort of switch things around because you have sort of like beats that are very quantized, and synthesizers are of course very quantized, and everything's very quantized really. So it allows for you to sort of go in there and switch things around and to manipulate it all you want and to reorganize the edit to what the director needs, because that's essentially what it's about. And with this director in specific, it was even the slightest changes, like a few different frames I had to go back and I had to re-switch things and change tempos. But how this whole entire project started out, I'm just going to go ahead and describe my process writing the score all the way from the beginning, okay? So I started out pretty much setting markers. So if you can come over here and you can just go through the whole entire film, and you can just sort of set these markers. And so let's just say here we have the beginning. So we have the first initial hit. This is the first video, or the most recent video he sent me before he did all the sound design and stuff. So pardon the odd audio, but it's like I had them muted. So we have, right? So we have hit 1, and then we have this section in here, pretty much where he runs into this little building, and there's some tension right here.
Grenade!
We have this thing. And then, see, we have tension, and then it gets right to release, not too big. And what I meant by not too big is since we had a section over here that's much bigger than this, I wanted to save the grandeur and really save it for this section over here when we go to 12/8 time, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But anyway, so what we do is we start out, Joshua Crispin's an excellent sound designer, so his hits are unbelievable, and as you can hear, it's just so intense and in your face. And then we have this taiko ensemble, which is playing this, which sounds like this. Hans Zimmer percussion. So I can go into this. So that's playing that for a while. And there's some different rhythms that go on, especially over here when we add in the boom bombs. It adds in that high flair to the percussion. And so with that, we also add in a few different hits and stuff. And of course, Audio Imperia, like I was talking about. Audio Imperia is excellent when it comes to presets. If you're, scoring a hybrid film or whatever, and you just sort of need things to go to automatically, Terraform is going to be the place to go. It's absolutely not Terraform, but Audio Imperia in general. And I have this into my quick load over here. I only have a couple of the libraries at this point. And I think I have a few on another hard drive, but mainly these are the only Audio Imperia libraries that I use, Terraform and the Fractal, which is an amazing percussion library where I got this this very intense snare hit. Well, gets to the snare thing over here. It has some nice hits, but then it gets to the snare. Where are you? Yeah. Yeah. And that really adds to the overall mix. You can see we have these booms. We add in the boombas. We also have this, I believe this is the low hits, but I didn't mark it. So this just sort of adds some variety. Remember, this is just our percussion and hits. And I had so many people after I wrote the score. I had so many people come up to me. They're like, "Oh, dude, you're ripping off Daniel James." I was like, "Yeah, I sort of am," because his style is so perfect for something like this. And so this is definitely sort of the Daniel James-esque, John Powell-ish, Jason Bourne style. And that's what I was going for with this score. Just sort of constant movement, constant action, lots of mechanical, synthetic type sounds mixed with percussion, but also having that orchestral aspect, which we also have when it comes to French horns and everything. But I sort of wanted to add a sense of originality, add in some very odd time signatures, like what is it? 12/8. Is that what I did? 7/8. Yeah. So we have like 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, and so you could split up the time signature in order to make a very interesting time signature. And that's like a very commonly used rhythm, by the way. If we go to our percussion here, so like if you have like one, like, I mean, because you normally have 7 beats, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So if you split that up into 3 and 4, you can do 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, or you can do 4 and 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. And so you could split them up into really add some vibrancy. Okay, so Johan asked, can you talk on how you choose the tempo and time signatures to fit the scene? To fit the score. Okay. So it really what it all comes down to is watching the film. So the first thing that I did in general was just watch this film multiple times to pick up the pacing. And as you're watching the film, you'll just sort of receive signals from your brain telling you, okay, this has to be this time signature, this has to be this. And I just sort of wanted to start out with this sort of like running pacing feel. So like and then it sort of, and then I felt as though once he gets in here, right, it'll sort of dim down a bit and allow for the action to happen, and so the viewer isn't too distracted by the music. But on that first one, I sort of wanted the music to be running along with this character in this scene. And then, you know, during the action, having the action allowed to play out and having the music sort of supporting that. So as you can see, there's a lot of open space, and we have these drum hits coming in on the beats where it's like bum, 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 and it lands on the beat. Just go ahead and play that percussion again. Right. So we have really gigantic percussion. This is Junkie XL mixes, by the way. Yeah, shit, those synthesizers are so freaking bitey. Like the Audio Imperial stuff is so freaking like just freaking attacks. It's crazy. But anyway, so we go into this other section here where there's like I said, a little bit of tension. And like right when it cut to this shot, this is a really cool shot. The cinematographer on this project is great. He definitely captured some cool stuff. But yeah, it's like point of view of the gun, and then it.
Grenade!
So there needed to be some tension here. And then it cuts right back in when they edit. And he made some final changes once I sent him the score, like some really tiny time switches when it comes to, yeah. But generally speaking, it's all right on the hip. So then we go into the section, release not too big, where we have these awesome Audio Imperious snare hits. This is just a sort of build, and as you'll notice, it builds and it builds and it builds, and then it like anticlimactically cuts off, but then it just comes in all freaking aggressively. And then it's like, and then it comes in with our 7/8. And so 7/8 was interesting because, like I said, when you're having to switch around time, I had to like come in on this very odd, like this is 1/4 of one measure, and I had to come on this very odd time. So you're constantly having to mess with things and make sure that things fit, because that's the only way that I can match the time. What he wanted this slow shot, like a slow motion shot, to sort of like crossfade into. So I used the riser as sort of this crossfade technique. Okay, what do we have? Recommend the Orchestral Essentials. Yeah, I've checked it out. I'm not a big fan. Logic seems to be not that bad as I thought. Yeah, I love Logic. I wouldn't go any other way. The tempo and signature system is amazing, better than Cubase. Logic is great, but if you are on PC, Studio One by PreSonus is also a great alternative. Never checked out PreSonus, but that's interesting. So anyways, so this film, like I was telling you guys, I'm not a big airsoft guy, but what I'm pretty much sure this all is like, it's this, I don't know. It's sort of like this very immersive experience where everyone has a gun and they're all in like different teams and they have these gigantic canvases to be able to fight. And so, as you said, as I showed you, it starts out in this forest, and then there's people driving to the airsoft place, and they're going into the woods, and someone's in a freaking house in the middle of the woods, and there's, you know, like I said in the a little bit further into the edit, there's like multiple different places inside of the woods where you can fight and really crazy stuff. But like I was saying, people are constantly just like moving and moving and moving and moving, location to location to location to location. So the music had to follow. And so, yeah. So like I said, oh, where are we here? Yeah. So like I said, we were, and then bam, we're right into it.
That way. Go!
So as you can see, there's a lot of these string clusters, and I mainly learned that from like Mad Max, so you have like the, you know, some cool stuff like that. But there's a whole lot of like weird string stuff going on. And of course you have these big monster brass things. Oh, how I got the project. Okay, Michael's in here. Okay, so Michael Frankenberger is my good friend. He's one of my best friends in this composition world, and so we were both looking for projects to do, and we came across one of my friends, Ian Arbor, and also one of Michael's friends, Ian Arbor, who was the composer on the I Am Bolt film, the documentary about Usain Bolt. A pretty successful documentary. I'm pretty good friends with him, and so is Michael, and so I'm pretty sure I saw a post that he was tagged in about, you know, this director Matthew Campbell's upcoming project, and Ian Arbor couldn't do it, so he recommended Michael, and I liked the comment where he recommended Michael, and I guess he felt bad, so he was like, oh, and here's Ashton Glickman as well, and I was like, oh damn, people hate me. No, but then we started chatting, and Michael wanted to collaborate on it, and then what ended up happening was, I believe, I don't know. I guess the project wasn't really a collaborative process. It just sort of like, it leaned towards my style. Like, it wasn't anything opposed. I wasn't opposed to collaboration. It just sort of leaned towards my style. Michael's an amazing, amazing, unbelievable composer for whom I respect tremendously. But it was a different sort of style that was going on here. He didn't have a lot of the synth plugins and stuff like that, so it sort of leaned towards my direction, and he was the music supervisor on this project, so he got a credit for it, and yeah, it was definitely a good process, but it worked out pretty well. But yeah, me and Michael are still bros, and we're gonna collaborate on lots of stuff coming up soon. But it was just one of those projects where we were sort of a team. We were looking for something sort of leaned towards the direction of one of us, and the director, you know, preferred we go in the direction that he thought would be best for the film, because that's ultimately what it's about, what's going to be the best music for the film, and so that's what we eventually did. I hope that I told the story correctly, Michael. If there's anything that I missed, go ahead and say that, but I love it. Very Henry Jackman-esque. Oh, yes, thank you very much. Henry Jackman is excellent. I love his scores, like Jack Reacher, and I love his recent score for Birth of a Nation, which was so underrated. Birth of a Nation. It had this... this very beautiful, beautiful theme, beautiful score, which you're not totally used to when it comes to Henry Jackman. You've just heard a lot of his action scores, and we got so many beautiful, beautiful scores. Like you have Hacksaw Ridge, this unbelievable theme. Like so many scores that deserve to be nominated for the Oscars, but Lion and Jackie, I mean, really? Come on. Give me a break. Hacksaw Ridge, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So many unbelievable scores. I mean, Rogue One, hell. Why didn't that crap get nominated? But, I mean, I had so many conversations with people about the nominations for the Oscars when it comes to the score. And I couldn't believe what I heard when it comes to, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, I digress. I'm going into debatable territory, a very subjective-based field when it comes to chatting about nominations for the Oscars. But what happened, and we have yeah. But anyways, good score. But yeah, so like I said, so since this synth patch right here was in 4/4 time, I needed to switch back to 4/4. So I cut to 4/4. Back to 7/8.
That way. Go!
It seemed to fit best. So yeah, this awesome sound that I found. It's unbelievable. And it works so well during that slow motion. It was like so like Matrixy.
Smoke!
So we have these drums which are just sort of like they're very inconsistent. It's just sort of like bum 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 bum. And you're just sort of like, where is this going? Right? You have this. It's not totally quantized at all. I didn't want it to be quantized. I just sort of want it to be lingering. And then we get a little bit more quantized, and we're sort of building. And we see this pink smoke. And it just builds. And I missed the riser here. But then we have this riser.
Smoke out! Matt, Johnny, go to the right. Here's your shot. On me. Stay in cover.
And then we enter the realm of total badassism. As you can see, this shot right here is totally cool. He's like sort of he's lingering in the pink smoke. So I added in our sort of creepy textural color in the score, which is, I think this is Gravity actually, if I'm correct. Yes, Swarms. I would have used the new Spitfire library if I had the library when I was writing this. And then at this point we just go all out, and we cross the boundaries between orchestral. We're on the boundaries between orchestral and rock, and we just sort of have this this cello, which is just sort of like dun 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 dun, you know, just like really aggressive, like Zeppelin and played by the orchestra. And then we have this this guitar that's just sort of like shredding this lick, like dun 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 dun, something you'd hear like in an alternative rock song. And then you have these like evolve beats that are sort of accompanying it. And then, of course, our ambient snare. So you'll be able to see this here. So like I said, so we have that whole thing, and then we go into this next section where we sort of introduce some more ambient synths, and so it sort of feels a little bit more spread out, and it feels a little bit more large. Where this first part we brought it in, it was a little bit more like aggressive and pulsed, like dun 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 dun. But the second time we sort of have a little bit more freedom, right? Yes, this part actually had a tremendous Brian Tyler influence, and like the part that has a even bigger Brian Tyler influence is the part where it brings in the drum kits right here. You know, like the drum kits, like it's such an interesting color when it comes to projects like this. Like his, like Brian Tyler, I forget what his like a dun 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 dun. That was his Fast and Furious thing, and so he wrote the beat, and then he wrote the orchestra on top of it, and it just works. It was like a, what was it? Boom, 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 boom. Something like that. But yeah, pretty sick beat. But anyways, it's a very interesting color, and especially adding in the guitars, it just really, it really creates a modern feel to it, and it adds in that rock alternative feel, and then you have the drums adding in that really, really sort of metal-esque rock feel, and so, yeah, I definitely wanted to introduce a little bit of modern compositional techniques right here, so that's why I introduced all that. The drum kit that I am using is the Unbelievable drum kit. From Metropolis Arc 1. Let's see. But yeah, pretty in your face and aggressive. I definitely love the snare too. Pretty cool. You could even do like Rush. Or you can do okay. But anyways, so like I said, and then what we end up doing is we modulate. So we go from A minor, actually no, I think we go from E minor to A minor, which is a perfect fourth interval. We go down more than up. So like I said. And again, that's just one way to add a little bit more. That's a really, really good way to add some interesting feels into an action scene, is to sort of modulate everything. And since everything's constantly moving, you want your music to be constantly moving. And one of the essential ways that you can make your music constantly move is to modulate, change time signatures, etc. I talked about this in the last stream a little bit, I think. But pretty much what ends up happening is like what you want to do is if you have like one continuous time signature and one continuous key, and it's all at the same, you know, it's all constantly constant, then things just get really boring and they get bland, and it's not doing what the project calls for it to do. So as a film composer, you have to identify, and you have to be just as much a filmmaker as you are a composer, which is what Alexandre Desplat says, and observe the speed of the scenes, observe the intensity of the scene, talk with the director about it and understand where he's coming from as well, because that's one of the most important aspects, is to understand what the director's view is, and to identify what is best for the scene and what is best for the progression of events, right? So let me just go ahead and solo out all these different tracks so you guys can see the different layers. So we have this guitar, And then our percussion. You know, so it's relatively simple. All you really have is you have your synthetic field, you have your percussion field, you have your guitars, and then eventually you take in your drums and you have bass, and you have pretty much like a rock band setting mixed with the orchestra. You have all your different staccatos and everything. Somebody asked, why didn't she record the guitar? I don't know. Why didn't I ride my bike when I went to Cleveland, Ohio? Because it's just faster. And, if I'm going to be modulating keys, then, you know, there's no point in having to go back and re-record stuff. All I have to do is transpose it inside of the DAW. I mean, whatever's quicker. And if I could achieve the exact same sound, I figured I'd just go ahead and, do it MIDI style. But when it comes to the guitar, it's all Omnisphere. Right? It's a really, really cool guitar. And, you know, Omnisphere has tons and tons and tons of awesome guitars. And this is actually under the distortion area. So, yeah. It's sort of a mixture of multiple different things. It's like an electric thumb piano and a bunch of different weird stuff. But, yeah. And so what we wanted to do here is we wanted to allow the viewer to take in all the different sounds. So that includes the like the birds, and you wanted it to sort of be like this very ambient scene, because he has this sniper and he's about to take out this dude. So we really wanted it to just be very bland in terms of the musicality that's happening. So we just have this pulse that's happening. Again, another orchestra element. And so we have this very interesting ascending line with the French horns. And if you even wanted to, you could add in, you know, trombones. You know, like interesting ascending stuff, but I thought as though all I really needed there was the French horns. Okay. So he's hiding under this thing, and again, we want to have a lot of ambience, so we use a lot of different pads and synthetic elements. As you can see here. Oh my god, that is literally the best. Look at this guy. Oh, that's great. Oh, it's awesome.
What'd I miss, boys?
So, okay, so then we have, so pretty much what we have going on is we have this fight going on between these two teams the whole entire time, right? And then what ends up happening at the end is just some random team comes in and then beats both the teams. So we have this like total mind F going on when it comes to the action. And so there's this thing going on between these two guys, and then this random dude comes in and beats them both. And you're like, shit, what the hell? And so I wanted to add a whole nother level of badassism to these guys. And so like when they're walking away and there's this awesome shot that sweeps and it sort of slides and it shows all of them.
Hey, don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt?
Oops. Crap. WTF. Play it from here.
Hey, don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt?
What I miss, boys?
So then you have this. And then we have this whole other section of music which I wrote for the actual for the channel. And I'm gonna go ahead and play that right now. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's in my Dropbox. But this is sort of like the channel theme, and it includes again a whole lot of hybrid elements. Yeah, so here it is. Let me just go ahead and play it. So that was written for the credits. So if I go back here, I'll play the end of this thing.
Mercy? Huh. Somebody's duck hunting, eh? Hey, don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt?
What I miss, boys?
Lloyd!
So then we have the credits. So it's sort of like the theme music plus the credit music.
Hey guys, Matthew from Airsoft Amigos here. First off, thank you for checking out our short film. It means a lot. If you want to see more Airsoft...
Yeah, so there is the director, Matthew. But anyways, if you guys want to ask any last-minute questions, that's just sort of the overview of the Airsoft score. So as you can see, it's nothing too insanely complex. As you guys know, I'm a guy who loves melody and composition and orchestration and complex harmony. I mean, hell, I'm writing a whole symphony, so I love the theory stuff, and I love orchestration. And by the way, I'll give you guys a little hint of the fourth movement, the grand movement. Quick overview, skim, goes on for a long time. It's like 50 pages at this point. That's just the fourth movement, but anyways. But yeah, so and so this is something that it's not my number one favorite style of music to write. It's a style that's very popular, but then again, I like very lush orchestration. I like complex. I like all that type of stuff. And but yeah, I mean, it's a relatively mathematic style of music, meaning that there's certain attributes about it that you can just sort of learn, and then you can write music to where if you want to write something like John Williams, not only do you have to learn the craft and not only do you have to know the mathematical side, but you really have to have that very creative flair that allows for you to come up with the thematic material and be very smart about the way that you approach it. Which, you know, for this one, it's really just about observation, seeing where the scenes are, seeing the speed of the scene, setting all your markers, setting your tempos, creating different textures using synthesizers, etc., all of that type of stuff. And all that is very, very important. But this is just sort of one style of music, and as I continue to score different projects and stuff, I'm gonna come on live stream, and I'm gonna do some behind the score videos for you guys, so I can take you guys through the composition process. Sorry. And then also what we have coming up later this year, I believe it's in June or July, when I'm in the midst of all the different summer stuff that's going on, like NYU and LA and stuff. I'm going to be working on this film score for Justice League Dawn of Apocalypse, which is my good friend Nathaniel Shields. He's this unbelievable filmmaker from Colorado, and he writes, directs, edits. He does all the visual effects for his films, and he did this 50-minute film, and it got like 400,000 views on YouTube. It's sort of this fan film superhero thing. So, and I wrote like a 50-minute score for that. It's featured on Epic Music World, and I'm going to be doing the sequel to that film. And so as I go through all that stuff, I might be a little bit more away from keyboard when it comes to doing constant live streams, but I'll consistently try to come on stream, show you guys what's up, and everything like that. How long did I have to score the project? I had like a week and a half, but this only took me like 3 or 4 days. Like I said, it's not too complex of a genre when it comes to like hybrid scoring. But like I said, it's very, very, very commonly used nowadays. And this is almost like an extended trailer cue. You have big percussion, synthesizers, French horns, guitars, drums. It's like a prolonged trailer cue. And that's sort of how I approached it in general. But as you can see, it's just a whole lot of different layers. The reason why, by the way, I didn't use my template is because I wanted to use completely new, interesting sounds for this thing. And for something that like this, where I just sort of wanted to start out with a total blank slate. Brooklyn City Music asks, after you finish, do you master your tracks? Sometimes, and then sometimes I don't, actually. A lot of people I have coming to me, and they're like, dude, how do you mix your stuff? Dude, how do you get your mixes like that? And the truth is, I just use good sample libraries, and I mix and automate while I'm working, and then when I'm done, usually that's the final product. I don't really do a whole lot of mixing. If I do, I usually just export it 24-bit. I'll do stuff like compression, etc. But usually things just all sort of meld together in the end. That's the total honest truth. When you use really good companies like Spitfire and Orchestral Tools, their samples are already insanely well mixed. And so it's really just about you creating realistic mock-ups and doing all that type of stuff. By the way, I have a video on creating realistic mock-ups on my YouTube channel and everything like that. But anyways, that's just a little overview of this specific score, which is A Few Good Boys. But yeah, volume is very, very important, like Paul said. Also, automation is probably the most important. I have so much volume and modulate. You could see all this stuff going on. And so when something doesn't have modulation, I usually will just normally use volume, and it allows for you to just really, in Logic it's so incredibly easy. You can go through and you can select all the different things that you could have automation on, and you can just sort of go through and sort of treat it like you would Mod Wheel as well. And another thing that I love to do is that if I have like an instrument where I really want to control the dynamics, I can just actually go into Contact and I can automate the volume. Well, even here, I can automate the volume using the mod wheel. So then when I'm actually playing through, I can just automate the volume, and it's very, very helpful as well. Okay, we have another question. Do you sometimes notice the audio clipping on the master bus? Yeah, sometimes. In this case, it was because of the audio. There's all those gunshots, and it was before the audio was even compressed at all. And this score was compressed as well, and it was mixed outside of this project file. And Matthew also did a lot of compression and a lot of work with the audio when it comes to the actual film. Like, this is definitely not the final audio. Like, there's tons of hits and booms and bangs in the final product and stuff like that. So this is just sort of the first draft when it comes to the sound, but this is the last draft when it comes to the edit. It ends up distorted. Not really, the sounds are distorted, but in this case it doesn't really. And that was only because of the audio up here, as you can see when it gets to these high levels. So if I turn that off, you wouldn't have the clipping at all, because that's the way the master bus is designed, and even if you did, you can just sort of turn that down a bit. But it was mainly because of the track up here. But anyways, can you do a Moog Mother 32 video / review? Definitely, yeah. I have 3 Moogs right here, and actually, believe it or not, I use them in this thing. So I have 3 of them, and so what I did is on this case, see this sound that you hear? That's all Moog. I had 2 going at the same time. And it adds a whole lot. Like, there's certain things that you could just sort of never, like, for me, I can never imagine. I could never imagine not having these guys anymore, because they are just so unbelievable, and they have this unbelievable sound. And it's like when you just have when you have the synthesizer and you take the mix and you just start to like twist it around, and you get this really distorted, heavy feel, and then you can turn on reverb and you can mess around with the patch bay. It's this unbelievable experience. But I will think about doing a video review. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of video reviews online when it comes to this thing, and what my the thing that I want to do with this whole entire video series, with the behind the scores and tutorials and composition lessons and all that stuff, is to bring you guys information that hasn't very publicly been put out there. But there's been, you know, hundreds of different reviews on the Moog Mother 32. But if I were to do something like that, I would do it like how it correlates with film scoring and how you can use it in the film scoring world. You definitely want to give yourself headroom. You can export things in 22. Okay, so mixing stuff. Okay. But anyways, but yeah, so that's just a little overview of that. So like I said, it was a culmination of many different things. We had, of course, our percussion section. We had our sort of rock band section where we had guitars, we had drums, we had basses, stuff like that. We had our string section, which was primarily made up of spiccatos, staccatos, stuff like that. Very short things that could very easily be switched around and stuff like that. And then we also have all of our hits, which are from Joshua Crispin. We have our percussion, synth, pads, brass. But yeah, and that's just a little overview of that. And then we also have our all-natural synthesizers, which is programmed via the Mother 32s. Is there any big advantage to why you would get 3? But who doesn't want 3 Moogs anyways? The big advantage for me is I just wanted to sort of be able to have them playing at the exact same time. I wanted to be able to have 3 different layers and to sort of go and record and mess with things and have like a almost live performance setup. Like when you look on YouTube and you see the people who are performing live with these guys, they usually have like 3 of them set up and they're messing around with things. So I wanted the recording process to be very natural. And I didn't want to have to, you know, go back and multi-track and do stuff like that, which I might even do with 3, like if I need even more than 3 layers. But anyways, it's very, very helpful. Have you checked out the sample modeling products? No, I have not. I've heard a lot of good things about them though. I believe that's the company that like where they come very, very, very dry. Is there okay, wait. That was cool. Might check it out. Okay, cool. But anyways, so yeah, I will be back next week. I believe I'll be back next week. There will be a couple dates in April where I will be gone because I'm going to be shooting my next film called Eldritch, which in Old English means otherworldly or ghostly. It's going to be this big sort of story about this guy who returns to his hometown when his father goes ill, and after his father dies, he stays with his mother, only to figure out that his parents have been hiding a very dark past throughout his whole entire life. The fact that pretty much when he was a little boy, he was a patient at the Central State Hospital, and his parents tried to hide it from him his whole entire life, and he goes back to this location to try to face his past, and it's this very climactic, sort of epic little short film. It's going to be 20 minutes long, and my production company, Candlelight Pictures, is going to be working on it, and I'll be scoring that as well, so I will do some streams when I'm scoring that. Just insane amounts of stuff going on, and then of course, like I said, my symphony is finishing up. I cannot be more excited to share this with you guys. I have around 25-30 minutes of music at this point. When I'm done with the symphony, it's going to be right around 30 minutes. I'll edit it and done, but I'm just about to enter the copyist stage, meaning I am just a few days, if not like a half a week or a week away from finishing the symphony completely. And it's written in the classical style as well, so it has that very old-time feel to it. And it was an unbelievable project to work on and to explore the music of the past, and to really do that was just a complete honor, and to try to even honor what all these greats did, like Mozart and Beethoven and stuff like that. But anyways, lots of stuff going on. I will definitely be back. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I also have a YouTube channel where I post all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and grab the link and post that for you guys. And I post all of the streams there. And on the channel, we also have many different things going on. Like we have the instrument series, which was just completed. We have the full video where I pretty much go through all the orchestral instruments. We also have many different discussions, including with the art of trailer music with Daniel Bejboom. Baybom, and Christian, and all those guys from End of Silence, big trailer composers, Andrzej Rosman, which is a great film composer. And then we also have just a multitude of other tutorials, breakdowns behind the scores, everything like that. Just lots of cool stuff. And also sample library reviews, which I recently did one on Spitfire London Contemporary Orchestra Strings. So yeah. Gotta take a breath. Okay. But anyways, maybe when you can vlog in New York and LA when you're there. Yeah, definitely. I will definitely create some videos. New York City will be awesome, and I think LA will just be an experience like no other. I'm going to be taking my computer with me. I'll need to figure out how the hell I'm going to do that, but I'm going to buy like this gigantic Mac Pro case, and I'm going to figure out how to go Nomad. I'll probably be hitting up my man Daniel James to be asking him how the hell he did it, because it is a hard thing. But when I'm in LA, I look forward to not only, you know, of course, working at RCP Hans Zimmer Studio, but I also look forward to collaborating with some different composers out there. I know a whole lot of people and a whole lot of awesome composers are out there, including Daniel, including John at Art of Composing, and just, I mean, literally an infinite amount of things that we can be doing out there. And we want to take advantage of all the time that we have in LA, which is going to be right around a month and a week. So I'll constantly be interacting with you guys, and I absolutely love interacting with you guys. It's fantastic. And so you guys can stay up to date with everything that I'm doing on Facebook. That's usually where I post everything. Also, of course, my YouTube channel. You guys can follow on Twitch, so whenever I go live, you guys can get notified. Yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, you guys can email me at ashtongleckmancomposer@gmail.com. Or if you guys have any further questions, or you guys can, of course, message me via Facebook. But anyways, so thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will go ahead and see you guys later. I'm going to go ahead and play this film one more time, and then I will be out. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you later.
Yeah, hey Tim, how's it going, man?
Good. Just wondering, where the hell you are? I'm being pinned down here, and my whole team is dead.
Oh, sweet, yeah, no, we'll be there in no time. We're just looking at some dank memes.
Grenade! Hit.
Move it clear. You ready? Lock. Clear. Contact.
Mercy, Dayton! Mercy! Ow! I hate playing with you guys! Hit!
Mercy? Huh. Somebody's duck hunting, eh? Hey, don't worry, I'm not gonna shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt if I...
What I miss, boys? Lloyd!
Make precise adjustment.
Hey guys, Matthew from Airsoft Amigos here. First off, thank you for checking out our short film, it means a lot. If you want to see more airsoft-based entertainment, like comedy skits, action films, things about airsoft that you don't normally see, then please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, comment, share, all of it is going to help our channel grow because we're going to be bringing stuff to the table that you guys probably have never seen before in the airsoft entertainment world, on YouTube, etc. I definitely have to thank House Gamers, the meme team, Play 159, Airsoft Amigos, and the entire cast and crew who came out and helped. It was 2 days, not great weather. I really appreciate it. And a big shout out to Sean Seifert, my DOP. He helped capture all those amazing shots. Anyways, if you want to see some more interesting videos, we've got bloopers up here. We've got a gameplay video where I actually shot someone. Up here we've got House Gamers, and down here somewhere is going to be Poised video. If you haven't subscribed to these two guys' channels, go subscribe before you even subscribe to mine, because these guys are awesome and they're super supportive of what we're trying to do. Anyways, thank you for checking it out. We'll see you guys on the next one.